Cristiano Ronaldo's life, from the outside, looks like a flawless fairy tale filled with success. Years spent under the spotlight, records broken, trophies won, and fans all around the world. But every fairy tale has its shadow. And Cristiano's shadow begins with a secret that no one knew, kept hidden for years, and even Georgina was unaware of it for a long time. This story begins on the night that secret veil was lifted for the first time. That day was an ordinary day. Ronaldo had returned from training, spent time with his children, and sat down for dinner with Georgina. The table was filled with laughter, children's voices, and happiness. But as the night went on, the smile on Cristiano's face slowly faded. Georgina had known him for many years, but she had never seen that expression before. His eyes seemed distant, as if his mind was wrestling with something from the past. Noticing the silence, Georgina asked if everything was okay, and the only answer she received was one word: today, anniversary. At that moment, time stood still. Georgina was surprised. Anniversary of what? She asked, but Cristiano remained silent. That night he didn't speak again. He just sat, watched outside, and buried himself in his past. The next morning, Ronaldo suddenly disappeared. His phone was off. Even his security team didn't know where he was. But in the afternoon, an old envelope reaching Georgina changed everything. Inside the envelope was an old photo. It was from Ronaldo's youth, but he was with a woman he didn't know and a small child. On the back of the photo was only one sentence: "You forgot me, but I remember you every night." Something inside Georgina broke at that moment. Who was this woman? Who was this child? And why had Ronaldo hidden this from her for so many years? Hours later, Ronaldo returned. His eyes were swollen. It was clear he had been crying. That moment, Georgina saw his truly fragile, vulnerable side for the first time. And Cristiano finally started to talk. The story stretched back years to the days before he left Portugal at just 17. At that time, Ronaldo had secretly been involved with someone. Her name was Helena. The two young people had a short but intense relationship. When Ronaldo transferred to Manchester, they parted ways. But Helena had kept something from him. She was pregnant. Ronaldo never knew this truth for years because Helena never contacted him again. Until one day, a letter arrived. In that letter, Helena wrote that the child she had given birth to years ago, Ronaldo's son, was now 14 years old and sick. He was battling a rare genetic disease and needed his biological father to survive. That day, Ronaldo went to Portugal without telling anyone. He met his son for the first time. He lived through everything. The child he didn't even know belonged to him. Those short but intense days they spent together. A story of a father and son finding each other years later. But the story didn't end happily. The young boy spent a few weeks with the joy of meeting his father, but the illness had progressed. And sadly, within just a few months, he passed away. Ronaldo never told anyone about this loss. He worked hard to keep it from leaking to the press, even from Georgina, because that pain was a wound carved deep into his heart, a hurt beyond words. Quietly, every year on the anniversary, he wrote a letter for his son, took that single photo they had together, closed his eyes and waited for hours. A silent remembrance, a quiet mourning. When Georgina heard this story, she couldn't hold back her tears. Until that day, she had never noticed the heavy burden the man beside her carried. And that night, they shared Ronaldo's great secret together. He was no longer alone on that anniversary. That night, Georgina held his hand, took the photo, and they looked at the stars together, searching for the light of the child they lost in the sky. Maybe he was still watching over them. This story shows how even one of the world's strongest men carries deep wounds. Yes, Cristiano Ronaldo is a football legend, but he is also just a man, a loving, losing, and remembering father. And some pains, no matter how deeply buried, quietly resurface one day. Just like that old photo. When the time comes, it tells everything. But sometimes that telling costs a lifetime of silence.